Hello everyone, Steve here from Tech Toy Tinker and Retro Arena. Today I wanted to take a few minutes to show you some of my favorite Halloween or horror themed games because Halloween is coming up. So I'm going to start off and just show you just a few samples of each that I like to play. Ghost Manor for Atari 2600 is probably one of my favorites. I'm not going to show you every game in every listing or we'll be here for a long time. But I just wanted to give you a general overview of some of my favorites, talk about them a little. It's not an overly hard or complex game. However, it is lots of fun. This is another one of my favorites here, along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not overly scary, but it is a lot of fun. This one here was the main game that came to mind when I thought of Commodore 64 or C64, whatever you want to call it. Cauldron. I remember which button I gotta press to get out of this menu. There we go. This is probably one of my favorite horror games of all time. This and another one from PlayStation 1. There's several that I really like, but I have some that are really favorites. And I grew up watching Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, so I always really liked Ash.
Am I insane? I wouldn't necessarily say I'm crazy, simply because I've heard the voices and battled the godless thing. Let's go. At first everything looked the same, like nothing ever happened. I wondered if all of it had just been a bad dream. Boy, was I wrong. Jenny's out there somewhere, alive. I can feel it.
Anybody who's seen Evil Dead, this will feel very familiar to you right away. Perfect game for Halloween. Whoops. This, I would definitely put it in the top 3 Dreamcast horror game, or top 3 horror games, period. Possibly even. For sure, it's one of the best Dreamcast horror games.
For as long as I can remember, my family ran what we called a horror caravan. We hauled this house of horrors around from town to town, trying to give people a new thrill, a new nightmare. I kind of like traveling, but... So, how'd I do?
You get the idea there. I don't need to show Code Veronica. Everyone's... Oops. Yeah, I don't need to show Code Veronica. Everyone knows what that is. This is probably my favorite Game Gear horror game. It's probably one of the only Game Gear horror games. Never mind. See, I got a bezel here. It's about Dracula. It's just your basic Game Gear game, but it's fun for sure. Game Boy was a tough one picking my favorite. I was gonna go with this, but I felt like that was kind of cheating because it was new. It's only made in 2019, and it is a good game, but it's needs its own video kind of to talk about it, since it's a new game and it's much more developed than something made in, say, 1990. So I went with this one. Kid Dracula. A lot of you probably already know this game. You gotta kill the baddies and avoid the traps. It's your standard action-adventure Game Boy game, only it's geared towards Halloween scary stuffs. You can see some of the other horror theme or inspired Game Boy games here, but that one was my favorite. On this one, it's kind of a toss-up. I really like Paintball of the Dead, but Play Novel Silent Hill is probably my favorite for horror games. Excuse me. that. Many of you will be familiar with the Silent Hill series already. There was something almost more simple about the days when games used to make you read everything instead of just telling it to you. On here, this is a toss-up too. I think, while I really like The Simpsons a lot, and also Pokemon Yellow Halloween, I think I'm going to go with Baby Felix Halloween on this one. As for my favorite Game Boy Color Halloween or horror. Everybody knows Felix. A lot of talking in this game. I mean, I could go through the door, but I think you guys get the idea. This was kind of a difficult one, too. Night Slashers is probably up there. Same with Real Ghostbusters, but I think I might go with Demon's World here. Nah, darn it, wrong button. There we go. I should point out that to run this game, I probably should have put it in the arcade folder or a core MAME folder. There's not really much of any valid reason for me to have used standalone MAME. And now that I've done this, I actually realized that I haven't configured the controllers yet, which means I have no way to exit this, and I'm forced to reboot the system. Don't worry, that's not in the public build. That's standalone MAME, and I've only got cores in the public build. That's me forgetting that I have a development build on here and launching it with the wrong emulator. It's my excuse, and I'm going with it. As you can see, though, excuse me, sorry, pretty fast boot time. Let's go in the reverse. Night Lore is my favorite ZX Sinclair game. I need... Oh, there's something I'm not thinking. I need the Retroarch menu, but I don't remember what I hotkeyed it down, whatever. I guess I'm just going to skip over that, because honestly, I need the Retroarch menu to set the right control. I should explain how to fix that, though. When you get an issue like that, you need to open the Retroarch menu, and you need to switch the controller type from RetroPad to the specific controller for the system in order to enable the joystick. I just pressed the wrong button, and I didn't want to go back and... This is Clock Tower for the Game & Watch. Or Game & Watch, the Wonder Swan. This game is on very many systems. I think it's probably on like 6 or 7 different systems. Now, Super Nintendo was really hard to pick my favorite game. I wanted to say Super Castlevania, but here's Clock Tower again with an English translation. And I think that that's my favorite game for Super Nintendo, for horror games. That or the Porky Pig one. But I'm going to go with this as my answer. It's also why I clicked off the Wonder Swan one so fast, because the Super Nintendo one is in color and greater detailed. Earthbound Halloween is a really good game as well, but that's a hack, so I didn't want to include that in my pick for best Super Nintendo game. It would be my favorite horror ROM hack for Super Nintendo, however. I'd really like to show you some of the gameplay in this, but there's a lot of talking and BS, and I don't necessarily want to make you guys sit here through all of it. I'll show you Porkys Holiday quickly. I'm sure a lot of you already know this game. I love how all the games for Super Nintendo and whatnot are super colorful, though. To me, that always really stood out. It's almost like The Nightmare Before Christmas. I wonder what came out for... Oops. I mean, you get the general concept of the game. For Sega CD, Mansion of Hidden Souls is my favorite title for horror. I'm going to try not to make this video too much longer. It's already at 18 minutes here. So if it seems like I'm speeding up, that's why. It's because the video's going a little long. This game is exactly what it looks like. It is good, though. Of all the choices for Sega Saturn, I've narrowed it down to Alone in the Dark and Corpse Killer. Corpse Killer isn't a game that a lot of people like, but it's a special game from my childhood that holds a lot of relevance to me personally, and so that gets my spot. What I mean by that is that it's something I used to play as a child a lot, with friends and family. That and a board game called Nightmare. Both of those hold a very sentimental thing from my childhood for me, or a sentimental place, I should say. Let's just hope Corpse Killer decides it wants to work. I actually didn't test these games before I put them on here, to be honest. But it doesn't seem like Corpse Killer wants to boot. So we'll go with the runner-up and boot Alone in the Dark. I'm not having very good luck with these Saturn titles here. Rest assured, though, it's not the emulator, it's the particular game itself, the file. The ISOs, or I guess they're binary and Q files, but a lot of them are discs that I've ripped, and you have to be careful how you do it, otherwise it's not great sometimes. Everyone knows this game, or mostly everyone. Mortal Kombat is both an anytime game and a Halloween game, in the same thing. At the same time, I should say. I don't really need to show too much video of that. Everyone knows what Mortal Kombat is. From PSP, or PSV, or PS1, I should say. PSP is next. I'm going to pick this, since it wouldn't work on Saturn. There's a lot of really good horror games on PlayStation 1, though. There's Resident Evil, there's Parasite Eve, there's this particular game that I'm playing right now. Some other good ones. There's one more that's eluding me because it's a Japanese RPG. I can't remember the name of it. And there's a lot of shoot 'em ups and things like that are horror based as well. Sorry, camera bump. To be honest, I like the Saturn version of Alone in the Dark more, but since it didn't want to boot, we'll live with PlayStation. Silent Hill's a really good game too, and I would have probably picked that for my PlayStation game, except that I'm going to pick it right here. Silent Hill Shattered Memories for PSP. I didn't really think that I should... Oh. Interesting, that's supposed to be a PSP game. Again, be careful when you dump your games, otherwise you end up with bad dumps. Runner-up would be Manhunt. Video kind of got derailed with bad ROM dumps near the end here, didn't it? For those of you that don't know, I one-take all my videos, which means I don't go back and edit things out afterwards. If there's a mistake, it is what it is. It stays in the video. I like my videos to be real. I don't want to have to go back 50 times and edit things out, and I don't want to have to mess around. Manhunt 2 is my runner-up. This was a really good game also. It's about a gay guy who's in an asylum, which is perfect theming for Halloween, in my opinion. If only I'd remember which button it is, huh? Silent Hill Shattered Memories for PSP is a really good game, though. For PC Engine, Horror Story is my favorite. This was a hard one. Probably Uninvited would be my favorite from Nintendo. Point and click adventure game. I'd say as a second up, Monster Party. Or Monster Mansion's really good too, but I like Monster Party. For DS, I'm going to go with Monster House. I'm not going to play it for very long because this video is going on 25 minutes now, over 25 minutes, so it's for sure a long video. But, yeah. Wrong button. Don't worry, eventually I'll remember the right buttons to press. Sooner or later, you know. Nope, wasn't that one this time. Nope, not that one either. I don't remember which button I have to press to get it to let me out here. That's the problem. It's not start. It's not triangle. It's not circle. It's not X. I just said it was not X. Well, apparently Drastic won't let me out. I remember setting a hotkey for it too, but it doesn't want to work, it seems. Don't button mash, that's never a good idea. Now, the correct way to do this would be for me to go into changing my input and fix it, which I will obviously have to do before I release, but I don't really feel like doing that right now, and this thing doesn't really want to play nice with me, so I'm just going to go like this and cheat. That was actually it for the video anyways. That was the last system that I wanted to show. There's more stuff too. There's a couple Mega Drive games. I'll show you guys them quickly because I really do like the games and I want you to see the titles of them, but I'm not going to go in and play any more games because this is a 30-minute video now and it went way longer than I anticipated on, to be completely honest. Got a little carried away showing you guys stuff. Where do we leave off here? So for Master System, I'm going to go Master of Darkness. For Mega Drive, probably Splatterhouse 3. N64 is Castlevania. And that'll bring us to the end of that. So, as always, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the content. Take care and happy Halloween.